Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a Paintisode. Basically, the whole idea of the Paintisode, for those who don't know, is it's not something where you're supposed to be really watching me, which is lucky because I just broke my lamp, so that's why we're kind of going with some weird light here. But yeah, the whole idea is that this is just something to kind of listen to for roughly an hour, so it gives you some background noise, really, just while you're painting your stuff. And I'll talk a little bit of tactics, a little bit of silly stuff, whatever really comes up. And we'll see. Hopefully we can all help each other. I'll paint some stuff. You'll be painting some stuff. Good times all around. Well, the thing I'll be working on today, and probably for a little while here, is trolls. The kind of current project I'm working on for them is my third horde of trolls. But this is one where they're actually different. You know, if you know my first horde of trolls, everybody has the rock above the head. So it's like we all went to just like looted a dwarven cemetery. Everybody grabbed a rock, like 1, 2, 3, heave. You know, it looks kind of silly, but those were all the starter set ones. I kind of got a big grab of them before. But now I'm trying to make another one where the unit is more diverse. It's going to actually look interesting and not completely stupid monotone, or monopose rather. And luckily, over the last couple of weeks where I was off busy in BC around Vernon and stuff like that, actually turns out they have a hobby store over there, but unfortunately I should be painting while I'm talking. I just didn't have time to get away. We got really busy. For those who saw that video before, we had a death in the family we had to deal with, so all of a sudden a fun vacation in the mountains turned out to be a funeral, and all that went with that. But yeah, I forgot my paints, so even though normally I would have hoped to try and get done a little something, unfortunately, I had no paint, so I couldn't get done anything. Which is bad because right now in my little painting tail up on... Do you guys have the same head? Oh, okay. On my little painting tail on the Warseer there, I am kind of behind. I really stumbled when I thought I could do Brett's and then completely failed there. And then I have had a couple of bad months since then. And now, you know, it's a year-long tale. We're on month 9. I'm running out of time. And I am down some serious points. So luckily, if I can get going on these trolls, I can actually catch up fairly quickly. Because especially the regular trolls paint up pretty quick. There's a little bit of detail on them, but nothing too crazy. But the big thing that was holding me up was the converting. Of course, it takes a little time to do that. And so I did that. Here are the two I'm hoping to get done during this hour. One is converted from the guy that's supposed to have the bone above his head. And really, I just changed it to be an axe. So a little easy one there. This one here is the one that's supposed to have the sledgehammer. I changed it so that I guess I can get a little bit closer. It's not going to focus well anyway, but there's a head swap there, and he has like a two-handed big axe from like the Minotaur set now. It's probably easier if I show it to you that way. You might recognize it. But that's done. Of course, I mean, the nice thing is that having the odd guy, like here's the regular sledgehammer troll that they came out with, which is not too bad. I have the one where instead of having the rock above his head, he has two weapons. He's like, Rah! And then I have some of the more silly ones. I have the ones I converted from Gorgers. So one here with Chaos Troll Blade, ha ha ha, and this one here actually has, he has the stubbiest, dumbest arms ever. But whatever, they're trolls. He has like little butcher, cleaver, and stuff, and they look kind of dumb. This guy actually has a Crutox head from the Tau in 40K. But these guys will be a little bit harder to paint just because they have so much detail. They have bones through their skins everywhere. They have different hair. They have blah, blah, blah. So they will take longer than these regular guys. And then I also have another one where this is actually the Stone Troll body. And then I lost the head that I wanted to use for it. So normally I could just steal one from my 40k stuff, but I sold my 40k orcs, so I was only able to find one silly head, which is actually kind of more like robot eyes. I don't know. It doesn't really fit, with the look, but the head fits perfectly on the body. It is the right size and everything. So we're going to go with that. You're not going to be able to see it, especially since it's all painted a dark color. But there you go. I'm going to be painting these. You're going to be painting your own stuff. And hopefully at the end of it, I'll be done these. You'll be done your own thing. And I would have yapped about something for an hour. Something else I can show before I start painting is I got a new special character for Orcs and Goblins. When I was at the Sentry Box there in Calgary, they had this old model for the, how I like to use Snagla Gobspit, which is the one that's on the spider. Well, this is like the Con one, which is like the Wolf Rider Goblin. And it's not too bad. I mean, the wolf looks really dramatic and dynamic is probably the better word for it, compared to the regular plain wolves that the other guys are on. The one thing I don't like, I mean, his armor is cool. He has like, Mongolian armor, blah, blah, blah. Cool little scimitar thing. But his face. They changed his face to look Mongolian. And in doing so, and also with having the helmet on so it covers the ears, he just doesn't really look like a goblin. And on his belt, he has his bow, and there's a goblin head. And especially if you compare the two, it's just like, is that really even a goblin? If I painted this skin color, I'd believe you it was a human, right? So that's kind of unfortunate. But hey, it's cool. I finally have this special character. And for the painting tale, painting special characters can get up here really quick. So hopefully if I paint some trolls, paint him, hey, I got like 400 points, and I'll be right back up there where I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to start painting. And, oh man, it's been a bad time for tournaments for me. I keep on having to drop out from tournament to tournament, and big ones that I've been going to all the time. I knew some of the ones I'd have to drop out from Calgary because it's 3 hours. Oh, don't tell me this is dry. Oh no, my page is dry. No. Okay, this is going to make this harder. Sometimes when most of the paint is dry, you can actually get some from the edges. And if this was a normal time, I could take a toothpick and some water and fix it. Hey, I have water here. Why don't I just do that? Haha. MacGyver Malorian figures it out again. Alright, anyway. Just... Alright, I was talking about tournaments. And unfortunately, just like Warhammered. I love Warhammered. But I basically had to pick between it and going to Brawler Bash. And of course, I want to go to Brawler Bash to see all the other YouTubers and stuff like that. It's going to be 100 people. And that's going to be awesome. So, unfortunately, I got to miss out on that tournament this year. I can't do the May Day one because it's the same time as GrotchCon. And, I've been saying I'm going to be going to GrotchCon for years now. So, it's about time that I actually pull through and do so. Man, this was really dry. And now, another local tournament from a buddy of mine puts on, Onslaught. I go to these things all the time. I've probably gone to them all. Maybe I missed one over the years or something like that because he runs 2 a year. So maybe I missed one, but I had to drop out of this one here. Unfortunately, it's the same day as Mother's Day. And whereas I had the clearance before saying, hey, yes, I know it's Mother's Day, but, I'll still take you out for dinner after, just relax, blah, blah, blah. I could always figure out, a babysitter so you could go out and go to the spa or something, and then everything will work out. Well, unfortunately now, because of the timetable stuff, it looks like He-Man's birthday is going to have to be, my son, will have to be that weekend too, so it's just dead in the water now. I mean, if one day is a birthday party for my son and the other day is Mother's Day, sorry, I just can't do it. So that's really unfortunate because I was looking forward to trying some crazy stuff at this tournament. Uh, because this tournament package was very, very unclear. Normally around here, and I'm sure this is for most tournaments, they'll tell you the point size, they'll tell you the comp, they'll tell you how it's basically being scored, and you can make your list from there. But really, with this tournament, they're going more for an expo type thing, so there are a lot of events, and so the package, which would usually only cover 40K in fantasy, now had to cover like 7 different systems, and so each system was pretty short. It didn't give you a lot of information, and so one of the things that it didn't say in there is that the Folding Fortress was banned, and that's a bog standard in all tournaments around here. That's always banned. A little while ago, I did an org tactical team as to why. Is this almost ready? Almost. But nothing said there. So I was actually wondering if I should actually go into there. I was thinking about doing wood elves, actually, because I have this little toy tree that's like a tree house that works out pretty cool for a folding fortress. And so I was like, hey, I could do that. Or always, for some reason, at the Onslaught tournaments, you either special characters were banned or you were penalized for taking them. So, even though normally it's like a funner event, I just couldn't take those special characters without slitting my throat competitive-wise, right? But this one didn't say it. So especially with getting this new guy here, I was actually then thinking about, too, that maybe I'd take Orcs and Goblins and put in as many special characters as I could. It wouldn't be competitive because it's just so many points in, like, super expensive characters. But it's just because, hey, if I can, let's enjoy it. Maybe we can show them that these special characters aren't really that super crazy like they used to be. And that's kind of the problem is that, he's been playing these other games. He doesn't realize that in fantasy, special characters aren't the crazy thing that they used to be. And so let's just show that, right? Like we'll have Wurzag in there, we'll have Gorbad, and we'll have Snegla Gobspit, and we'll have this Con guy. We'll do this and this and this and this. But again, if I can't go, kind of hard to do that. And then I thought about trying other wacky builds too, right? Like maybe doing a Laverne build or something like that. Maybe trying to do another Super Orc running the Troll Hordes again. Something like that. But hey, it's just can't make it, can't go to it. So all those fun ideas just dead in the water. So that's really unfortunate. I'm going to try and get in more regular games, just pickup games to kind of make up for it. It really sucks. I cannot get a fantasy game up here anymore. Where I work, up here in Fort McMurray, there's just no one. You know what? I even ran a beginners league to get more people playing up here, and I mean, to be honest, I guess I'd have to say it failed because people kind of came out, did their little games, and then disappeared right after, right? Just like, okay, we did our games. Thanks for the prizes. We're going to be going back to our basements now. So that was really unfortunate. Really was trying to get the fantasy community up here going, but what can I say? It's just a war machine and 40K town. And right now, they're about to do their massive game. Every Easter, they do a massive, massive apocalypse for their 40K. And for those who don't play 40K, basically what an apocalypse is pretty much just take all your models and play. It is normally you're really restricted and you can only take this, you can only take that. But an apocalypse, it's like, yeah, just bring all your models. If you have a big difference for every 500 points different, and this could change. I think there's a new set of rules of Apocalypse or update that came out since I used to play it, but for every 500 points, you get these stratagems to try and help even things up. And it's really just these rules to be this crazy, crazy, huge battle. Now, most 40K games are around the order of 1,500 points or something like that. And up here, now, keep in mind, this is Fort McMurray is an oil town, so there's a lot of young people with disposable money, and yeah, we're looking at 300,000 points is how big this game is going to be. It takes 3 days. They rent out an entire gym, and they just go nuts. And I mean, seriously, they say, like, if you want to come, you have to at least bring a force of 5,000 points. Otherwise, you're wasting your time because the amount of stuff that's out there, your entire force will basically die to shrapnel. Like it is nothing. It'll just die. So I've never taken part in it, mainly because I'm a commuter, and so even when I played 40K, I just was never available to do it because, hey, you're doing this for 3 days over Easter. Well, sorry, that's 3 days I'm away from my family during a important family type of holiday, so can't really swing that. Looking forward to ninth. I'm wondering if they'd ever go to something like that. It would be kind of cool to get like these crazy big games for fantasy as well. I just don't think it really would work out well, though. It's kind of easy for 40K where, okay, this will shoot there and this will shoot there, roll dice, take things off, done. But if, if you can only imagine the movement phase for fantasy at 300,000 points, that would just drive you insane. Oh, you got a little bit too close there. You got within an inch of something there. Now I got to trigger my fanatics. So we'll do this, and these fanatics will trigger your fanatics, and it would just be nuts. So, but with that, lots of things to look forward here for fantasy with the Wood Elves coming out, and man, I have just been. Luckily, I already own Wood Elves, so I could always keep playing them, and I'm not a guy who jumped on the bandwagon. I was already there, kind of. But really, I'm guessing this will be something like for vampire accounts, where the update will be really cool and the army will be competitive, but I'm not going to buy new models because I can't really afford to really competitively support too many armies at the same time. So I'll have my old Wood Elves, and I can play them with the new book. I just won't have any of the new toys. Just like with Vampire accounts, where I don't have the Hex Race, and don't have the Crypt Horrors, and I don't have any of that cool stuff. I just still have a whole bunch of ghouls and a couple of corpse carts and stuff like that. So I can still play a game. I can still make a Blender Lord and make it, semi-competitive at least. But I just, I'm not going to go and win any events with it type thing. I mean, if you're not going to have access to your whole book, you're only hamstringing yourself, right? Same thing if it was my Orcs and Goblins, right? If I only used the Orcs and Goblins that I owned, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever, I'm just not going to be that good, right? I'm not going to have the horde of savages. I'm not going to have the horde of black orcs. I just don't have those same things. So either way, interested to see what they're going to do with it. And it'll be good to see them coming back onto the playing field here. Of course, everyone's going to wait for then Bretonians to catch up. Be nice if they redid the Beastmen as well. But then again, you got ninth, and who knows what that's going to bring. That's what's going to getting with the with this whole long topic was, man, I'm just still wondering with the allies and all the crazy things they do for 40K. Just wondering how much of that will also transfer over to ninth edition fantasy. And like you should know, I don't play 40K anymore because they just jumped the shark and the game got stupid and I just got out. It was not enjoyable anymore. Everything was just getting too insane and just, yeah, no thank you. I am done. So if they were to do that with fantasy, I would be very, very disappointed. Hopefully they won't, but you know, I just gotta wait and see what they deliver. You know, I still have that hope that it'll be late one night, the helicopters will start outside or stop outside my building and say, "Hey, Malorian, come with us. We need you to help redesign Ninth." Like, yes, we're gonna do it right. But that's not gonna be happening. Yeah, these trolls are coming along, despite the fact that I was there yapping and talking about other things for quite a while. There just isn't a lot of detail on these regular trolls, especially because how I mean, like they have like these rocky formations on them. But if you're, I mean, I paint things simple, right? I'm no Once Bitten, I'm no Kieran Dunleavy. I paint things so that they're tabletop ready, and that's about it. And so, really, these guys will not be too hard to finish, assuming my other paints aren't dry as well. But I do have some other tournaments coming up, even without going to Onslaught. I still have, do you have any wood stuff on you? I still have GrotCon coming up here in May. I then also have, of course, Brawler Bash. And that's going to be a ton of games. You know, I could play no games from now till then, and then I'm still going to average out a battle report per week average because, I mean, you got the tournament there with 5 games or whatever. I'm going to have the doubles tournament with, I think that's 3 games, the doubles tournament. So now you're at 8. Of course, I'm going to have the games with other people before or after or whenever. So there's those games too. And then, of course, while I'm there, I'll play another game with Once Bitten. So there's going to be tons of battle reports, but it just seems so far off, you know? I really wish I had more of a stable, routine fantasy group that I could just go and play games with, but man, until I stop this whole commute thing, it is just killing me. Talking about the models here, I'm still realizing that these trolls like to show their ass all the time. You know, there is the sculpt from the starter set. There's the sculpt where the guy has a sledgehammer, and then there's also the one where he has the bone above his head, and all of them, their asses are hanging out. All of them. So you got to start wondering how much of it is the fact that, oh, okay, they just can't really make good clothing, or is it actually part of like troll society? You know, whoever has the biggest butt crack, he's the leader, right? If it wasn't for Throg's cape, maybe you could actually look behind and he has like just this massive ass crack. And it's like, oh, he is the chosen one. He will lead us to glory. But even like, you know, when I have the other ones I was going to use, you know, the Gorgers, of course, they don't even cover it. It's just ass. There it is, in your face. Deal with it. And then for the River Troll, it's there, but he's got like the little tiny ass. You know, there's almost nothing to hide. You know, one butt cheek from a regular troll, that's a stone troll. Maybe that's why you don't see them. That is supporting our conspiracy theory, because if size of ass cheek is showing you how good and powerful you are and where you're going to rank, that's why you don't see these stone trolls. They got nothing. You know, they're just staying at home in shame. wishing that they had a glorious ass to crack. One day. Maybe that's what I need to do. Mallory needs to go out into the fantasy world, teach stone trolls about cake and ice cream and beer, and we will save the race. Oh. And then, of course, at some time, too, of course, when all these books are being updated, Orcs and Goblins will be updated, too. So, that's going to be a ways off, I'm sure. But always wondering, too, what are they going to update for Orcs and Goblins, right? Like, here I am working on my 3rd Troll Horde, and who knows? Maybe they'll redo them, and Trolls are absolutely garbage. And I'll just have all these guys. But hey, it happens. Right now, I have a bajillion Orcs with shields because they used to be the good thing, and now they aren't. So I just kind of sit on them. And I have my Savages with spears because they used to be awesome. But hey, I still sneak them in there now and then just because I can. And even just like a change to stupidity, right? Maybe they change it so stupidity can't use a BSB, because they're too stupid to understand what this waving banner is even for. A simple change to stupidity could also make these guys practically useless. So, gotta see what's going to happen here. Or maybe stupidity always means you're -1 to hit, right? All these things that could, theoretically happen. That wouldn't be completely outlandish. If you're all stupid and stuff, you're probably, making mistakes and all that stuff. And who knows? Trolls, Orc and Goblin Trolls are having it pretty damn good right now. And GW, anything that's good now will not be good later. Anything that sucks now will be good later. So stock up on those snotlings. Find your buddies, anyone who's selling snotlings, just buy them out because they hordes of snotlings. That's going to be the 9th edition Orcs and Goblins tournament army. I have actually never been in a time where snotlings were any good. I don't know if like back in the days of Hero Hammer or something like that, if back then swarms were actually worthwhile. But man, it's just never been a time where they're actually worthwhile. And I know they're snotlings, right? They're not supposed to be good and powerful and the rest of it, but they got to be worth your points. In 40K, to draw relations again, they have basically they're goblins, but they're called grots. And, they have had their times when they were good, when they were bad. But snotlings, they're still winning their turn. Pump wagons are okay. Can't really blame anyone for taking pump wagons. That ignoring armor saves, strength 5, impact hits. It's legit. It can do really good work for you. Now, do you have any little earrings hiding? I don't know why trolls are wearing earrings. I guess it's along around the same idea of why ogres like to go and pierce their skin with bones. It's just a cool thing to do. You're not tough unless you can stab a bone through yourself. Maybe that's something they should have, where actually all character ogres should be, they get an extra attack and they have an extra toughness and all the rest of it, but they actually have less wounds because they've been stabbing themselves all the time. They actually used to have 5 wounds, but after you go and you put two femurs through your neck, you're not feeling too hot anymore. All right. Like this guy here. We have a shoulder pad. clearly they have leather and rope, but let's just go and like take a metal ring and we'll just like attach it to your shoulder that way. Oh well. From a painter's perspective, that just makes the model easier to paint, so works for me. That's the thing too, is I mean once I get the whole unit painted up for these guys that are all different, you're not going to notice anything. What's going on with that forehead? Is that on this guy too? It's almost like he has a smear on his forehead. It's supposed to be those rocks, but it's going forward to a point where it almost looks like he could have like a little, oh, it's not a mohawk, it's a little flat mohawk, whatever they call that. Like all these trolls were drill sergeants or something like that. So then past that, for tournaments and stuff, I don't really know. I mean, around that time, that's when all these things are going to start coming out, the wood elves and stuff like that. So we're going to have to see. I mean, there is going to be lots of events going on around here. There's always something. But like I've said before, I'm just not going to be able to go to everything like I was before. That was just living it too good last year. One of the things that's kind of funny with some of my buddies here is these are for the guys that do the War Machine battle reports, is that they were saying like, oh yeah, we want to start doing more of this stuff and let's start doing the battle reports too, right? We'll do this with Malorian and we'll do the video and we'll do the battle report, and that way we're going to learn more because we're going to be talking about the tactics and we're going to learn all of our mistakes and, you know, get better. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. We could do this, right? And then they start realizing how much more time it takes because, you know, you take your time, you play your first game, and it's like, all right, so you guys ready to spend the 30 minutes just to make this into a battle report then? I just need you guys to voice over this. Oh, no. You know, in that same time, I could play another game of War Machine. Why would I want to do that? Exactly. Stuff takes time. Especially those video ones. Oh, that last one I did, whereas the High Elves versus the Orcs there, that takes so long because you record the whole thing as an ongoing video is what the process is. I have to set the camera, record the whole thing as a video, and then after I'm done, it has to save. And you might not notice it, but it actually is at a very high resolution. It's just far away and blah, blah, blah. But so you got to wait for your computer to kind of like save the file. So you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And that whole process there, where for like, you know, a 2-hour game, you're probably waiting about an hour for it to actually save. Good, it's saved, it's done. Next, I have to go and I have to put it into Movie Maker. Okay, I put it in there. I'm now waiting like another 45 minutes or whatever for it to start loading itself onto there as it loads all the audio and all the other stuff, which is crazy because I don't even want the audio. Because once that's done, I have to go and get rid of the audio, speed it up to a speed that makes it so it's a good time. You know, because nobody's going to want to watch a 2-hour battle report. They just don't have the time. So I got to speed it up fast enough so that, you know, it's around that area where it's somewhere around like 25, 30 minutes type thing, but slow enough that I can actually talk it out and tell you what's going on. And then, of course, you got to record over it, right? So then it's finally at that point where you're recording over, and if you ever have it, in that one there where you're recording over, where somebody calls or you have some stupid sound in the background that you didn't want or whatever, redo it. You know, you got to just talk nonstop for 30 minutes And again, I mean, this is a descriptive thing, right? So you're watching and talking, and let's say you're watching the video and you're like, oh yeah, I actually described it all wrong. This has happened later, and this is going on like this. Guess what? Either you can leave it and you can sound stupid, or you can re-record the entire thing. After that point, it's a little bit easier because then you get to save the video. It takes, like another couple of hours to save, and then, man, then you're waiting forever for it to load up onto YouTube. Like that one there, the High Elf Orc Goblin one, that took 3 hours to upload onto YouTube. Now, of course, your connection speed will greatly change depending what you got and where you are, blah, blah, blah. But that connection isn't too bad. That was a pretty good connection. It's just that those videos, especially because it's the high res, have so much, to it, and it's just crazy. And that's the thing. I mean, I look at mine where, like I say, it is a high res, but because it's far out, it doesn't, I mean, it's not like it's crystal clear. I wonder for some of these other ones where they have the professional cameras and it really is the crystal clear picture. Man, how long must those take, right? Like, do they just upload for 2 weeks? Like maybe that's why Wargamer Girl, some of you guys might not know her stuff because she does mainly War Machine, but she usually has one report every couple of months. But they're fantastic, right? They're very descriptive and very good quality video. And so with that, I mean, maybe she actually has 10 Bell reports up going right now, but they just take forever to upload, right? But so yeah, it was kind of good that in their backwards way, it was good to see. Like, yeah, see, this stuff's not easy. It takes a long time. And then of course, there's a lot of people that don't even like that style of video, right? Go through and you do the VidHammer style report, and then there's some people who like the pictures better. There's some people who like the other stuff better. It's just, we'll just mix and match. Actually, it looks like I can do another VidHammer one this weekend. There's a guy that actually lives right by me, like a viewer subscriber type thing that want to have a game because, hey, we're in the same area and, hey, could be lots of fun. So I'll be doing that, and that's a good thing. I mean, whenever I go to the store, I can't bring the camera, like the video camera, but if it's at home, it's really easy to set up. So I'll be doing another one of those for that. Hopefully that's going to be this weekend. Should be. It's the Easter long weekend, so there's lots of time to kind of try and fit it in somewhere. But hey, then again, it's also the Easter long weekend, and my family stuff has to go coordinate with his family stuff, and then I just got to figure out what I want to take. I got these Wyverns here that have been sitting here since I did my double Wyvern game like half a year ago, so it's probably about time that they come back out again. At least one of them. I don't think I want to run both. That was a little bit too extreme. And man, that's still the thing. Azhag, the war boss that comes on the Wyvern, that's part of the reason why I just can't bring myself to buy that model. One, it's $100 or more, whatever it is. Two, I already own 2 Wyverns. Having 3 would be pushing insanity. Especially when the special character isn't really worth having. So many points. So I don't know how your guys' painting is going. We're around the 40-minute mark here. My stuff is really getting close here. I'm just doing like the details around the belt and stuff. So that's good to know that these will be done in a timely manner. I always feel a little bit embarrassed where I was like, yeah, I'm going to paint like 6 trolls. And I keep on having to scale it back, scale it back, scale it back. Because you just can't paint that much. Just can't happen. But yeah, just gonna pump another show here, the Warhammer Weekly. If you guys haven't seen that one, that's another one that's good to listen to if you are just doing some painting, or like the shows are significant length. Especially like they're usually like around an hour and a half or something, and then past that, sometimes they do an after show on the T-Saurus channel there, and then sometimes they do an after hours back on. I guess it's the same where it is. It's on the Long Island Wargaming channel. So yeah, I mean they always have different guys on there. They had me on there. They had Kieran Dunleavy. They had Yoshi there from Bromance Wargaming. So it's really good because they kind of go through and they talk about what everybody's working on. Different battle reporters, stuff like that. So really great to see guys like that supporting the community and doing what they can and just keeping up with the material, right? Because it's good to have there to listen to, actually get your stuff painted. I really wish that up here in Fort McMurray I had better internet, because I always have to listen to this stuff at home, and I'm trying to mix in these long shows in between when I'm doing dishes, when I'm cooking, in the very, very early mornings. Like if I wake up and the kids aren't awake and the wife still wants to stay in bed, I'm like running downstairs so I can quickly like watch those battle reports and watch those longer shows that I just don't have time for normally. It's always like a almost like an Olympic style event to try and fit in the ones from Reef, because his stuff is really great too, right? Where he's covering different systems. He's really funny. He has the different guys on there and stuff. But his shows are now getting to the 4-hour mark. So, I mean, if I had internet here, because normally I have to go save these, load them at work to actually get these done. But if I could be watching these here, man, I would have no problem getting things painted. But unfortunately, and my landlady doesn't want to pay for cable, so I don't have any really good TV. I'm almost ashamed that I've been... Oh, don't put that away yet. Actually, yeah, I can. I've been watching stuff like Survivor and stuff just because that's what's on the free TV. Really miss my stuff I used to watch on Discovery Channel and stuff like that. Here I go, painting little fingernails underneath the weapon, which nobody is ever going to see. Unless they're a hobbyist like Kieran Dunleavy, and he's going to look at it going, huh, screw that up. The people that actually care are going to see all the mistakes I make. And all the people that might actually be impressed, they would never look for it. All right. On one of these belts here, there's a dwarf head, which bothers me because I'm also a dwarf player. But I know my skin color has been dying forever. So I don't... Oh, this is so pasty. He's dead. It's a dead dwarf. You can have pasty skin. Doesn't have to be perfect color and texture all over the place. But yeah, another one that was good to see that was having stuff on there again was Codex Dan. It looks like he's... It's hard to say because he hasn't had some stuff for a while. But the stuff that he has been putting out now has been War Machine. So I don't know if he's... I mean, before he did a lot of 40K and other stuff. I had a game against him. He's from Mini Wargaming in fantasy, and so I was really looking forward to having him as a fantasy kind of opponent type thing. But it looks like he's more into the War Machine. I can't blame him, though. War Machine really is a lot of fun. I really try not to take people away from fantasy and tell them to play War Machine exclusively. I wish a lot of people played both, but man, I mean, that's the thing. Painting-wise, if I painted as many War Machine models as I have painted Orc and Goblin models, I probably would have painted every single model in the entire range plus some. Man. Another thing you notice too is that whenever you see dead dwarf heads on belts or trophies, they're pretty much always slayers. And the ironic thing there is that normally these are like trophies, right? It's like, haha, here's the head of my rival. I'm so powerful that I killed this guy and I defeated this monster and I did this and I did that. But if you kill a dwarf slayer, that's not really saying very much. Their goal in life is to die. So really, whenever you see somebody with a Slayer head on their belt, they actually lost because the Slayer guy won, right? He got exactly what he wanted, got his death. So this is actually, yeah, as much as a trophy for the dwarves as it is to this silly troll. Good for you, you killed a naked man. The battle must have waged on for hours. Those slayers for the dwarves, I'm still... All I own is the two that came with the starter set. I haven't gone and bought any more than that to have a unit or anything like that, which is a shame because, I mean, I really do kind of like the models, and GW clearly really favors them as well because they have so many models. It's insane. You know, it's so hard for me to get regular trolls or stone trolls without having to convert, too much. But man, there are so many different models and sculpts for Slayers. It's insane. And I mean, they have that rule now where they get to make that extra attack when they die and blah, blah, blah. But man, it just still doesn't seem like enough. And I know some of the guys, like there's one guy, Don, in my group here that he's crazy for Slayers. He loves them. He thinks the special character is amazing. He makes these heroes and the was it the Dragon Slayers and pimps them out, and they always do so well for him and all the rest of it. But I don't know. I used to like taking them cheap when they're 50 points. But now that they're more, I mean, sure, they do get the D3 wounds against whatever, but I don't know. If I wanted to do D something wounds to something, I just shoot it with a cannon, right? If I have to either, what are they? I seem to think they're like 65 points-ish now or something. But instead of taking two Slayers, why not just take a cannon, right? Then I don't need to get to you. I don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. Just bam. All right, there you go. Monster done. Didn't need to get naked. Didn't need to dye my hair green or orange or whatever. Just had to load up another cannonball. So, I don't know. I really wish... I mean, one of the things that would have been really interesting... Oh, he has a bone in your belly button. Because why wouldn't you stick a bone in your belly button? Okay, so I'll have to come back to this guy. Anyway, what I was going to say... One of the things I kind of wish that they would have done instead is I wish that the Dwarf Slayers had Vanguard. Because then at least then they're kind of like your advanced party. They're getting up there and blah, and you could do like the Slayer group and just have like tons of Slayers and blah, we're all over you, blah, blah, blah. And I know, yes, you could take a banner and you can give them Vanguard that way, but I don't know. It just seems that that would have been a little bit more interesting. It's just, or if they could at least be weapon skill 5, Like, I realize now looking back, they're not exactly the elite dwarves. They're just Joe anybody who has a grudge and wants to die avenging themselves or whatever, seeking vengeance and absolution. But still, I mean, man, it's just when you get these naked guys finally into combat and then you're only weapon skill 4. Uh, I mean, now they could have hatred, and that's nice. But when you look at these guys and you compare them to something else, like the hammers, right? Hammers will just have 2 attacks. I don't need to die to get 2 attacks. I just have 2 attacks. And at the same time, I'm going to have heavy armor. Sure, you're unbreakable. I'm stubborn. When it comes to dwarves, that's pretty much the same thing. But hey, I at least have some armor on me, and I get all these attacks all the time, and I'm weapon skill 5. It's just better. Or if they would have made, I don't know, I really wish they would have done more things like that too, where Slayers were core if you took that special character. I always wish they do more stuff like that. You know, like there's, I'm going to butcher her name, but her name is like Drachia or something. She's the tree spirit special character for the High Elves. And basically her thing is that she hates all other creatures, and so when you're taking like this Drachia army, you could do really cool things, right? Like all your trees are basically being able to appear in random forests and stuff and attacking from all over, but you could only take things that had that rule. That were basically trees and stuff. And Wild Riders somehow snuck in there as well because they had that special ward save. But, you know, that's kind of cool. I mean, I'd rather have more stuff like that where, oh, if you take her, then all of a sudden maybe you could take tree kin as core. Like I know right now you can make it work because you have dryads as core, and you have, of course, everything that kind of works on from there. But just more stuff like that. You know, if you have a Strigoi Lord, right? The Ghoul King for the vampire accounts. Okay, well, if you take that, then your Cryptors, they're core. You know, sure, why not, right? Stuff like that. I just wish they do more stuff that change the org chart, really change then the type of armies you saw. I think I have all the details painted, so we are going to put a sharp edge on that axe. And how are we doing for time? We are going to be done on time. Can you believe that? 2 trolls, an hour, 70 points done and added to the ever-growing Malorian Orc and Goblin army. I finally read the rules for the Triumph and Treachery. Feels so stupid that I haven't done that before because there really is like 4 pages of rules or whatever. It is so small, but I just kind of always looked at that book, expected it to be so complicated, and finally said, nope, we're going to get this done. We're going to do it. So I read through, and it's so easy. So at some point here, I'm going to be arranging a game for that. I think it'd be really cool if I could be playing a game like that at Brawler Bash with the other YouTubers. So, I don't know. Part of me says, oh, we can always arrange that stuff later, but Brawler Bash is coming up. It's not that far away anymore. I need to arrange my tickets, make sure that everything's going to be working out still, figure out an army list. That could be a good thing. And still, it still irks me. I was just sending in a message to What's Been Today that when we did that Bretonnian campaign, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And in the end, we can do it so all 3 of us are playing Bretonnians at Brawler Bash, and we'll see who does the best there. And they're like, no. I would never want to play that. Never. And what's happening? Now they're both playing Bretonnians at Brawler Bash. Leaving me in the dust. And I can't blame them for it, but you know, like I said, in the beginning of the year, I tried painting my Bretonians, and I gotta say, if I had the pressure saying that you need to have this army ready for a Brawler Bash, because that's just what we're doing. We're all just playing the Bretonians, and either your army's gonna be ready or you can just stay in Canada type thing. And you know, they would have got done. One way or another, they would have got done. You know, if you had that extra pressure and there's something pushing you from behind, you'll get it done. But now, it's just not going to happen. And so now I'm going to be forced to be the jerk that goes to orcs and goblins, and I'm going to have to kill all their knights, and they're going to cry. Poor guys. I'm actually wondering how they will do, because they're doing, if you guys haven't checked out the channels of Anthony and the Sustainable Center, or Once Bitten, which I don't know why it wouldn't be, they've been doing their practice games with their 3,000 points of Brett's, and they're doing fairly good. You know, they're doing, all their games are either being won or they're very close or whatever. So, I don't know. They could actually do okay. Unfortunately now, I mean, you could go into normally, if you were Joe whatever, go into the tournament and bring Bretonians, surprise people, and get like the whole dark horse effect where people don't expect what's going on. Unfortunately for them, they're almost the masters of their own downfall, because the more they play and the better they get with Bretonians, the more they're teaching people what to look out for and how to beat them. So, yeah, that's... And really what it comes down to Brett's is, if you know how to redirect, they're in so much trouble. When I was first getting my gaming group into fantasy from 40K, they were all saying like, "Oh, Brett's are so broken. You just charge it and win. You know, there's no skill." And I just kept on telling them, if you just put something in the way, you know, I'm praying, I'm giving you first turn. All you literally have to do is move something in my way and redirect me, and I can't get off the charge that I need to win, and there you go. And they just would never learn. We're sticking with 40K. There are bullets. There are stupid ally rules. So, I don't know, we'll see how they do. And of course, I mean, the nice thing that happens there is last time you had Anthony with his warriors, me with my orcs and goblins, and Once Bitten with his empire. And of course, you have the thing where they're comparing, right? Like, oh, where do we all, who did best? Which was me. I scored the highest. But you kind of have that thing where, oh, okay, well, you were this army and you were that army and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not really the even playing field. But for the two of them, where they're both playing exactly the same army, it's just going to be, you know, really straightforward comparison, right? Who is going to go in and do better with the Bretts? And unfortunately, there'll be a huge paper, rock, scissors there, where if you run into that one where, oh, I got the lower metal, melt, I win. So we'll see what happens there, but it'd be really neat to see the two of them play against each other with them. But either way, I am now done. My two dwarves, my two trolls. I would be putting up pictures of them, but I can't, because this is on a video. Actually, no, I can. That's right. This is finally not on a live feed. So I will put a picture of this up after, assuming I remember, and I'm pretty happy. You know, like I said, I got a lot of these guys I need to paint to get either the troll horde done or also just to catch up with those points. But there you go. And I even still have a minute to talk about something else, which could be about how bad of a special character this guy is going to be. Ugh. You know, at least the other guy does something cool for you, where he lets all your spider riders come ambushing off the side. And it's like, yeah, horde of spiders to your face. This guy, I get to run away faster. My guys get quick fire bows and blitz skill 4, which actually isn't bad. Then they're not taking the penalties to movement, so you're running up, you're hitting on 3s, but it's still just bows. You might get an extra dice to run away, but if you're getting within 9, so you're in short range, I don't know. It's going to be very hard to make him worth it. Like, I kind of thought about running him just on his own, because maybe as like just a crazy single solo guy, he could run around. He still has a 3+ armor and stuff like that. But even then, I don't know. We'll try him out. That's the nice thing with orcs and goblins. Just try stuff out, have fun. This guy's still what? I think he's like 130 something points. So he's even at that point, he's basically throwaway for the most part. He's not critical, but either way, there you go. There's the Paintisode. Down below, you can go and let me know what you painted. I always like hearing what you guys are working on. And there you have it. So we'll catch you later. Bye.